You're listening to Get the Chip. To it, man. We let's talk about Melo a little bit. I know the whole league was writing him off, saying Melo was finished. The league passed him by. He's a guy that's only good for the 90s, early 2000s hoop. Since the game has analytics in it, all Melo shots are bad shots. What do you think about how the media was portraying Melo and what he actually showed us this year in the NBA restart?
So I think, I guess, typical me, I'm going back to the Olympics when I saw, as other people would say, the Kobe's of the world, the LeBrons of the world. Essentially, when Melos went off in the field of the Olympic Games, when I saw like superstars deferring to him in the Olympic setting, that team had like aspirations. It was like gold or nothing. It made me realize like they probably saw something in him that like no one else did. So it made me look at him differently, despite like whatever he was doing in Denver and then eventually kind of how he started off in New York. So I always knew that he had something there. I just felt that he wasn't in the right system. So like going to, let's see, he went from the Knicks to he had to Stanton, Houston, right? Stanton, OKC. And I just felt that those weren't the right systems for his style of play. And then also I think Melo, like I think he even said it, like he wasn't ready to not be like option 1B essentially. Like maybe he played with like a Russ or a James Harden or PG or whatever, and like he felt that he basically could do whatever they did. They just younger or whatever. So I think he needed to change up his mindset, and then of course like he had to have the right situation. And I think that Dame with Portland, Dame does what he does. McCollum does what he does, and then Melo still could do what he did without it mess with those two guys. And I think those guys are more, they can get off it whenever they want, but they're also like not ball dominant or I don't want to say selfish, but they're not as ball dominant as like a James Harden can be, or even a Russ PG situation was. So I actually think him getting to Portland, having a better, just a better situation there, man. It showed the league and showed everybody like he still can, with his new mindset, he can still get buckets and be a good contributor to a team. So again, mentioning the Olympic part, like I said, seeing how those guys deferred to him, and then kind of some of the records that he set on the Olympic stage, even though he wasn't playing with the same, against the same NBA level competition. But just all of those told me that there was something there that maybe people didn't recognize. And that's not something that you just lose going from a New York situation to, the team bouncing around like you did. You just don't lose that. It's just being able to be in a system where you can play to your strengths, and again, his mindset. So I think he just told, man, you can't count on NBA players. And that's the other thing. Like I think I said before, like in the media, we see again a lot of people that have never touched the basketball, even in pickup games. We have never gone to a gym and won a game. I've only consistently gone places and got ran, if ever played at all. So seriously, if at all, you know what I mean. So I feel like definitely don't have the credentials. You can't just look at analytics and do the eye test, as some people like to say, and not understand just even how basketball works, the psychology of it. How any person can have a good night. Like these are like NBA players.
Yeah, just write them all.
Yeah, it's like.
Go ahead.
Well, say last thing I was gonna say it's actually something that I brought to my attention like tons of years ago. I think I went to a game. I don't remember when it was. It was over 10 years ago, and I was watching how just trash players pregame was shooting and they wouldn't miss a shot. He was like, "Yeah, man, these dudes are professional, dude. That's all they do is play basketball." So I think like from outside looking in, when you're not playing at that level, or when a person doesn't get playing minutes, or that they have a certain narrative attached to their name, it's easy for people that again are in the media or that can't even dribble a basketball can say, "Oh, this person is garbage." But man, these are professional players. Like they don't lose that. So it's a different conversation. Actually, we need to talk about this later. It's the same reason why Katino Mobley not only serves in the Big Three league, but I don't know if you saw that he was in a pickup game going to some young college dudes, killing them. And that dude is, I'm guessing he's like late 40s. He's all grayed out, gray beard, gray hair, but still serving, man. So anyway, yeah, Melo just showed you can't count on NBA players, man. Like, nah. It's not. You
So
can't do
for
that.
Melo, man, I got an interesting take. I wasn't as bad as like the media, but I am not somebody who is of the general mindset that Melo is just raw. I'm like, Melo? I'm like, man, maybe he was raw when he came out of college and he was young. Cause I feel like Melo is one of those guys, he's never really been in like great shape and stuff. Melo is big, he got good size, he had a sweet jumper, and he relied on those things and just was out there just living his life, hitting the clubs, doing whatever he was doing. That's the kind of guy that Melo was to me. He didn't come off like a guy who took basketball super serious, where he was like, I'm gonna be the best player. He was like, I'm about to come out here, give you some buckets. We lost, but I had 40. So it don't matter. Nobody on the team who beat us could say nothing to me because I had 40 on them. I kind of just felt like that was the guy Melo was, and also he wanted to be, like you were saying, the man wherever he was. Oh, I'm on Denver, I'm the man. I'm on New York, I'm the man. And then him having to go into a situation that had another superstar, like you said, Westbrook or PG or Harden. That's difficult because he thinks he's still at that superstar level because Melo was a superstar when he was in his prime. And now having to share that and defer to somebody, I don't think was something that he was used to. But I will say this bubble experience for Melo, it really made me. I was cheering for him, man. When Portland was playing the Lakers, I was I was riding with Melo. I was like, "Come on, Melo." Melo was low key getting some buckets, man. He was the step back was working. He was getting some buckets on LeBron. He was trying to guard LeBron. He wasn't locking him up, but he was doing a serviceable job. So I think what I saw and what I learned about Melo from the whole NBA restart was that yeah, he's not finished. I just think he needs to find that role, and I think he found a new home there with the Blazers. It seemed like Dame love him, CJ love him, and they could use somebody to score because Dame and CJ, like you were saying, they get buckets. They nobody can really stop them dudes. They're small, but they're no joke, and they needed that extra person to come off and score for him because I feel like they were lacking that. So he fit with them perfect. So I'm actually really excited to see what he's going to do with them next year. I think they'll be a playoff team again. The West is tough, but I think they'll be in the playoffs. If they're not right there at the bottom, they'll be fighting into that play-in game that the league is adding in for this next season. That they'll be right there fighting for it in the West. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to watching Melo and seeing what he's doing now.
Yeah, and the other thing too, like I think people don't realize that hasn't either been around watching NBA as longer or familiar with Melo. Melo 100% is going to the Hall of Fame. Number one, like people don't even
Oh
realize
yeah,
that. People like you know what I mean. Like people that started saying Melo in the last
first
5 years.
ballot, first
Yeah,
ballot.
absolutely. He's in what year like 16, 17, something like that. Well, no, actually, no, he came in with LeBron. So wherever LeBron is at, there you go.
Yeah, same year as LeBron, but
Okay, yeah,
Melo went
sorry.
to college, so he's older.
Yeah, so Melo's 36 already. I think. Let me see. Let me see what we got here. Melo averaged
Melo got to
15.
be older.
Yeah, nah, he's 36.
Is he?
Yeah, he's 36 for sure. I'm looking at it right now. 1984. Um,
Oh, okay.
averaged 15 points a game. Like there's not many players ever that's been in the NBA at his age that played his position and was playing at this level this long. Like Melo got below 20 points a game, just in his last 3 seasons. But again, he was on teams where he was like the second or third option. So
Yeah.
I think that's worth saying as well. Like, I don't want to just focus on, like I said, what he showed us in the bubble. Melo, this is why this dude, like I said, will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Melo will go to any gym, anywhere, and give buckets. Melo could go overseas and give buckets. He can go most teams and actually be the number one option for. I probably can name 20 to 22 teams in the NBA right now and be their best player. So, I definitely don't want to sleep on that fact. Like Melo is. Melo will give somebody the business. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm looking
he
forward to seeing.
Melo, as the kids say, he's a bucket.
Yeah, he is a bucket. And the thing too, which next season should be interesting, is that remember like his last three. Remember that's that's the other thing. Melo was out of the league for like a year and a half too. That's the other thing that people don't realize as well.
Yeah, he came
Melo,
off the couch.
yeah, Melo Melo's been out of the league for a minute. He hasn't had no serious like real injuries either that's kept him out. For an extended period of time. For the most part for his career. So it's it's uh it's going to be interesting to see, like, because his last 3 seasons, he's been 1 year situations, and then he ends up on another team. So With Portland, it kind of was like, okay, we're going to try this out. But the fact that he re-signed, as I understand it, like he probably can even, you know, fall into his place and thrive in whatever role he has, knowing that like he's committed to them, they're committed to him, and they can go forward. So I'm looking forward to it.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Be on the lookout for the next release as we drop new content multiple times a week. Or you could just subscribe so you make sure that you don't miss it.